should we have a series that is like group parlay? That could be cool. Maybe we should do that. I think we should do that. Because I'm just saying this exists now, there isn't it's not like you've all given me a topic or I haven't invited you to give me a topic. But I noticed a lot of you talking in the parlay, the patron part of the Discord. YouTube members and Twitch subscribers are in there too. I noticed you folks talking about different methods of rolling in tabletop RPGs, like D&D and such. Densoro, recent new patron, thank you very much. You're a parlay patron, and you requested a parlay video that I just finished a little while ago about a lightweight tabletop RPG. And that game used a different rolling system from rolling a d20 to get your result. It used an interesting method involving d6s, not just rolling 3d6, which is a really common one. I find the different trade-offs for these methods really interesting, and in that parlay, I said that I mostly preferred a d20 as far as I could think of, for a variety of reasons. I like its lack of consistency. I think that's in some ways good, but the implications of swapping to like 3d6 from a d20 are more complicated than what I said in that parlay. I wasn't trying to oversimplify or anything, and I'm really interested in these other ideas. I just, so far, from what I know so far, in its limited capacity, I still prefer a d20. But I would really like to hear more about the systems that you all enjoy. We were kind of joking with each other about this in the Discord, and I noticed people have some pretty strong or just janky opinions about it, which that sounds cool. We should talk about that. So here's what I've done. In the description, you can find a form. That form will let you submit basically one line that is how you resolve your roll for a check. And if you don't know what that means, then I'll be explaining right after this. And then you'll get a little paragraph where you can say a bit, kind of like a short parlay request. That's like a discussion prompt, and you'll say what you think is good about it. And I'll try to respond to that. I'll read what you said and try to discuss it as best I can. Now, it would be nice to allow people to give like a pretty specific example of each thing, but I think for allowing all people that support at any level to participate, that would just be way too long. We can hopefully agree. And so I'm not going to do that, but if you want to do a parlay about an individual thing, you shouldn't feel bad about that. I'd like to invite you to go ahead and make a parlay about a system you like, if you want to give an example and then I respond to it. That's a type of parlay that's not particularly common, where the person gives me like they say a thing, and you're kind of forcing me to say your thing, but I get to respond with my opinion. It's fine. You shouldn't feel like I cover your thing, I say, I don't think this is that good, whatever, and then you do a parlay and you're like forcing me to talk about it more. That's fine. Like, it's more than fine, actually. Like, go for it, okay? So I just wanted to say that's fine if you want to do that. And I hope you can understand me wanting to limit how much people can say for each example. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, there's a system for determining the result of like a check or whatever in a tabletop RPG. Again, if you don't know what that means and you're just listening to this for fun, you're not going to submit a thing. I'll explain in just a minute. I'll give you an example. You might be thinking, I've got some really contrived system. I would say, to me, that's kind of a safety net for if it's really contrived, politely, it really won't work for the purpose of playing a tabletop RPG. I'm still interested in that topic. Pingers in the chat, you said, as we were talking about different systems, a d20, 3d6, etc. Pingers said, me resolving game actions with tarot card spreads. Pah, you are like a little baby. Yes, so if you have an actual system for resolving game states in Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, using tarot cards, that sounds cool. In fact, you could do that kind of simply. It would just require a lot of interpretation on the DM's part. But anyway, whatever, more of a system than that. That won't fit in this. I'm sorry. I hope you can understand that. It's just way too different. But I would be interested in that. So again, don't feel like you're doing something wrong if you were to do a parlay about this. You're more than welcome to do that if you'd like. So again, just one more clarification that anyone who supports at any level can do this. In fact, you know what? For this first one, I'll say anyone can do it. Just anyone can do it. You don't, I'm going to put the link in the description so you can submit something even if you don't pay me any money. You don't have to, this is just free. We're just doing this one for free. It's probably going to be a lot of them. I'm not sure what I'll do about duplicates. I'll just try to, if somebody said something new in the description, I'll try to add something. We'll do it like that. And if this is crazy, well, it'll be a learning experience and the next one will be better. But probably in the future, I will post these on Discord and the link will be there. And then anyone who supports me for any amount of money at any level on any platform will get to submit, but you will have to pay like $1 on Patreon. I hope you can understand that. Something I've said a lot in the past is that, right now my spread of income for the model that I'm using to make this a sustainable business is working pretty well, but the low steady contributor part is pretty lacking. That is, very few people pay me $1 every month. I believe that the entertainment I'm providing for people, there's a significant number of people for whom it is worth $1 about there a month, not more, but some. And I think it's those people. Maybe I should do a bit more, so this will be a little something. And it's also like the largest category of people supporting me financially are Twitch subscribers at tier 1. Those people, it's $5 a month and I get $2.50. Twitch takes the other half. Those people also don't get like particularly a lot of a perk. They probably give the most money for the least relative perks. Which, yeah, like I do get less money on Twitch, but like I really value that support. It's a lot of the money I make. I'd like to give you a little something. It wouldn't be hard to do one of these every month, so let's just do it. I don't know. It's too much. Maybe it won't be every month, but I don't see why it would need to not be. Let's do it. So yeah, feel free to submit below. I'll give a quick example of like what I mean by this. So I'm your DM, and I'm also the player. I'm the DM and the player. This is an example. And we're playing a tabletop role-playing game. You've maybe seen these before, maybe not. But you're going to resolve actions as you say, like, I hug the side of the snowy cliff and inch carefully along the side. And I might say make an acrobatics check if it was Dungeons & Dragons for like whether you slip off because there's very little foothold, if that makes sense. Now you'll add in D&D, it would be your dexterity. Acrobatics is normally a dexterity skill. And then your acrobatics proficiency if you are proficient in acrobatics. That's like if you're trained. Dexterity, are you dexterous overall? And acrobatics, are you, trained as an acrobat? Or maybe both. Maybe you have significant of both. And then you add that. Let's say your bonus is +7. And then you're going to roll a d20 in one example. I got a 9. And then that'll be +7, and then that's your result. So you got a 16. That's pretty good. So I would say, yeah, like how hard is this? Yeah, it's of medium difficulty. If you weren't careful, you would fall. But that 16 is pretty good. You do a good job staying on the edge of the ledge, very carefully pointing your foot sideways so that you don't take up too much space going off of the ledge. Your center of mass is in the right spot. Whatever, that was pretty phoned in. I would say, better or something as your DM. I'd be more prepared. And you make it to the other side safely. Maybe if you got a really good roll and your ally got a really bad roll, I would consider letting you kind of save them too. That's another example. But there are other systems. So to give a very quick example, the most common other system that I can think of is 3d6. By the way, this doesn't mean that you can't put 3d6 or a d20 in the form because you want to say some benefit of 3d6 or d20. You're welcome to do that, but d20 and 3d6 are, as far as I can tell, the most common competitors for this type of rolling resolution. So now we're going to do it again. I'm rolling 3d6 instead of a d20. I got a 1, a 5, and a 1 for a total of 7, plus 7 is 14. Now 3d6, the average is the same as a d20, but of course the range of numbers and how often they appear has now been significantly weighted. which has various effects. In particular, it makes rolls more consistent, which makes the effect of a bonus more powerful. That's something I didn't get into in that Densoro parlay. Something I didn't discuss in that one is that 3d6, the consistency, causes a bonus of +7 to be a lot more meaningful than it otherwise would have been. And it's easy to think about this intuitively. If people are rolling 3d6, you and your opponent are fighting. They're both rolling 3d6. Well, the result is more consistent. So more often, it will be not random chance, but your bonus that will make you superior to someone else. You're more reliably superior to your opponents, or inferior, as the case may be. This also means that a number that would have been like unusually challenging or unusually easy to hit, that's more dramatic than before. It's even easier to hit reliably. You're even less likely to very rarely get like a 3 with 3d6. And you're even less likely to get an 18 3/6s with 3d6. So that's just a quick example of some basic benefits of those two systems. But there's lots of others. There's the game that Densoro had me talk about. This system is called Lumen. It's called Lumen, right? Anyway, you roll a d6 for each like relevant stat point you have. So you'd roll maybe 7 d6s. That's probably too many for that kind of game, but you get the idea. And you take the highest of them, and then like a 5 or a 6 is good, a 4 or a 3 is meh, and a 1 or a 2 is like a fail in that system. So it's a kind of a different kind of consistency. There's another game called Coriolis that basically you have to roll a 6 to succeed. Anything else you fail. And then the more 6s you get, the more of a critical success you get. So you'd roll 76 and you get 2 6s and you get a certain kind of critical success. Another interesting version of a system. My friend described that really elegantly as like a benefit of that one is you get the role playing of like things usually go wrong and you usually only succeed by the skin of your teeth, which makes critical successes kind of the normal type of success. And so it feels really awesome when you do succeed because the normal is failure. It's weighted, a lot toward you failing, is the way they made it sound anyway. I haven't played Coriolis. It would depend how you ran it. So those are a few quick examples of those systems and what they could be like. We'll leave the form open for, I don't know, like a week, and then I'll just talk about all the things in it. If that sounds cool, yeah, and then we'll see how it goes and do another one next month. Anyway, just a little extra thing. I really appreciate the support as I'm at this kind of turning point in my career. So I just want to do a little something extra, and it kind of just happened. I figured, why not? Looking forward to it. Send those answers in.